go easy on him.
Fuck easy.
No, don't do this.
You don't have to do this, man. We're just messing around. I promise you, we were just messing around.
You do this, and we're fucked. Okay, I'm completely fucked.
Get out of the way, Stan.
No, I'm not gonna get out of your way.
Get the fuck out of the way, Stan! This asshole's gonna get what he deserves. Now, whose side are you on, mine or his?
I'm on your side, but he gets the point, man.
I don't need your help, Stan. I can handle my own shit.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Horror Quickies with your old pal JW. Me. Anyways, today we are doing The Shed. Vampire horror film from the executive producer, from the executive producer of the Saw franchise, directed by Frank Sabatelli. Now, Frank Sabatelli directed the 2009 horror film Blood Night, The Legend of Molly Hatchet, starring Danielle Harris. Now, I had watched that film, and while I liked it, there was a lot of problems with it. This is a similar situation in the earlier episode when I reviewed Open 24 Hours from another director who had seen an earlier film, and while I liked some elements, there were some problems. Blood Night had... One of the main issues is party scenes. I don't have a problem with montages, but I really dislike it when it's completely obvious a director uses so much montage footage of just music playing and people dancing and partying when there's just so much. I mean, you're gonna have a certain amount, maybe 5 minutes tops for me, I don't know. But it comes to a point where it's so obvious it's being used as filler, and not blaming the director, because you gotta pad those films. Like we talked about before, most distributors, if somebody watching this is a distributor or works very closely with a distributor, they can correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe, as I stated before, the consensus is generally 90 minutes or an hour and a half is the sweet spot, but generally anything over an hour is pretty much considered feature length. Excuse me, dry throat. Anyways, Frank Sabatelli did a good job on Blood Night, but as I stated, I had some issues with it. Danielle Harris's character was generally the lead character. She wasn't really in the film. You could tell she was kind of sprinkled in at the right moments, and it overall wasn't a great film, but I enjoyed it. Now, like I stated, very much like with Open 24 Hours, I wanted to give his new film a try, and yes, The Shed, I freaking love this movie. One thing I'll state, and I'm not going to mention the name, but there is a reviewer for a known website that I watch, and I'm not slamming them, but their review of The Shed literally starts out, I'm waiting for this so-and-so vampire studio film. Until then, I'll watch this, and it's a good movie. It's a good movie to get you over until the studio film comes out. Yeah. Really don't like when people do that. I think it's very disrespectful to independent filmmakers. Maybe it's just my opinion, but I don't feel you should compare independent films to studio films. Don't get me wrong. You can compare a vampire film to a vampire film regardless of studio or independence involved. You can do that. But to literally just say, by the way, this is an independent film, to me, I don't like all that so-called guff, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of that. Anyways, going back to my actual review, you have to forgive me. I'm going to try not to get on my soapbox for the rest of this review. Anyways, the film is basically about Stan and his best friend Dahmer, who've had to put up with bullies their whole life. All of that changes when Stan discovers that a murderous vampire is living in his shed. Frank Whaley, very known actor, started his career in a lot of teen films, and he graduated to some more serious roles. I do feel like Frank Whaley is one of those actors that's underused. He is not in the film a whole lot, but he does a very good job. He's very good at playing this vampire character, and I really like the opening sequence that kind of explains you the sort of how he got into this. I like the film. The film covers this high school bullying and unrequited love and the whole class system in school. It does a good job on that, but it doesn't harp on it too much. One of the criticisms that I heard is dream sequences. There are some dream sequences in this film, and I don't feel like they're all done for shock value. There was one that I thought was unnecessary, but at the same time, it wasn't very long. It involves a fantasy with the girl he loves, and it wasn't very long, so it didn't really, to me, take away from the film. I really wouldn't have gone that route with it there. I would have had that dream sequence a little sooner than what they put it in, but overall, you'll see what I mean when you watch this film. Anyways, I paid, I believe this one's actually like $12.97. Do I think it's worth my money? Yes. A big part of the film is the whole Stan and Dahmer, the whole outsider nature of their existence in the small town that they're in. The relationship with the deputy, the sheriff, the bullies. The teachers sort of seeming like they're taking the bully side, which it really, as much as some people want to say it doesn't happen, no, it actually still happens. Even in this age of anti-bullying, I still see evidence of teachers protecting bullies. But, I'm not going to go on a long monologue about that. The movie is a really well done vampire film. I think they did a good job with the locations they had between the school, the town, and the house. I really liked the third act. The third act was good. The film sort of leaves itself open for sequel, kind of, and it's one of those films where I'm like, just enjoy it. It's a fun film. It's an entertaining film. I'm not going to sit here and try to compare it to any other vampire film. I mean, it has a lot of elements of which you've seen before, but to me, it's all about the story, and I thought the characters told a pretty good story. It's very hard to come up with something original, which is why when you find something original, you should gush about it. You should tell people about it. But let's not knock down the entertainment value of certain films just because you don't feel like it compares to certain other studio films. Yeah, kind of didn't want to like make a big discussion out of it, so that's my bad, folks. Anyways, yes, as I stated before I started getting off track, I did like The Shed very much. Once again, I love watching a director whose film that I had issues with before do another film. I mean, just like Open 24 Hours with Padraig Reynolds directing that one, Frank Sabatelli, he has improved as a director 100-fold, and it really shows in this film. I highly recommend you rent it, stream it, go to Walmart if you're old school like me and buy a DVD. I'll see you guys next time on Horror Quickies.